Hey guys, welcome back to another Battlefield 2042 video. Today we are going to check out the controller settings that I am using heading into Season 3. I know a lot of people are going to be hopping back into this game, and I've been playing this game since beta, and I've been slowly tweaking my settings all the way up till this point throughout all the seasons. And I figured this might act as a sort of guide for you guys, maybe to help you out just a little bit on the settings. First and foremost, if you have not checked out any previous videos before, you know that the field of view needs to be changed up this to at least 90 or above. And for the third person field of view, you can also up that to your preference. But as you can see, once you up the field of view, you just see more around you. You're more aware of your surroundings. You'll play better. So the first thing we're going to do on the controller settings is edit bindings. The default bindings are okay, however there are things you can change that can make you a better player. In order to change these, you're going to go ahead and click on edit controller mappings in the top left. You're going to click the right trigger to go to movement. And for me, I have switched the jump button and the melee button so that whenever you're in gunfights, you can go in and out of cover without having to take your right finger off of the thumbstick. You can crouch into cover and stay in gunfights, at the same time. You don't have to ever take it off the things, it's better for movement. So what you're going to do in order to change it, you're going to go ahead and just select it, and then it'll give you the moment where you actually need to click what you're trying to bind. Yes, they might have duplicates set up for them, but that is okay. Now, and you also want to make sure that the melee button, you're going to have to switch that to your B or circle button. In order to do that, you're going to have to go to weapons and equipment, and you're going to go to melee takedown and repeat the same process. Put it on B or circle, whatever controller you're using. And the second thing I recommend changing is matching whatever your zoom button is with the hold breath button, so that when you are sniping, you don't have to click another button in order to hold your breath. You're already doing so. So with steady scope is also set on left trigger, is the same button as zooming in. So you're automatically holding your breath as soon as you scope in with a sniper. Much more efficient. Now we're gonna back out of that. Now we're gonna go to the global settings. I have changed nothing here except for controller vibration. I've always taken this off. I feel like it's just one more distraction to add to the game experience. I don't think it's really immersive to have controller vibration on. I just take it off. Why not? Then we're gonna go to the on-foot settings. I have my settings set up to my liking. 85 is the sweet spot for me. However, it might be lower or higher for you depending on your controller and how you like the controller to react to movement. 85 is a sweet spot for me, might not be for you. I know I used to have this around, I think just straight 80. I've upped it just a little bit recently. How sensitivity usually works is once you get used to a sensitivity, you can try upping it, getting used to it again, upping it some more, and you kind of can figure out where your max sensitivity can be at, where you're still efficient. This is where you want it to be at. The field of view, go ahead and match it with whatever you made your field of view at the beginning. You're also going to change your ADS field of view to on. That way your field of view is matched instead of, you zooming in like tremendously and losing a lot of peripheral vision. So I leave this on. Soldier aim assist and zoom snap. This is a little tricky because, it's kind of been broken for the longest time. So for soldier aim assist and soldier zoom snap, you can actually max these both out at 100 and they both work perfectly fine. However, I do recommend not doing that with the zoom snap, because if there is a cluster of enemies and you happen to aim near the one you don't want to actually shoot at first, because you're supposed to take out, the threat first and then lead on to other targets. So I don't want the controller to try to go to the wrong enemy. So I have this toned down to 50. I used to have it at 30. 30 to 50 seems pretty close to what I like as far as preference is concerned. Play with this a little bit and you can see how strong it is and what would work best for you, obviously. I have also changed traversal sprint. This is usually off. I leave it on just to save the life on my controller a little bit. Just know that whenever you want to engage in a gunfight, if you're in a traversal sprint, it's going to take longer to aim down sight than usually. So be aware of that and make sure that you are preparing to get into a gunfight before you're actually in it, so you're not in a traversal sprint right when someone's shooting at you. Soldier zoom and sensitivity. Leave this at default. Just don't touch it. I promise you, you just don't really need to touch it. Whatever your sensitivity's at is what it should stay at. Don't mess with this. This kind of changes the sensitivity based on when you're zooming as opposed to not zooming. I tried changing this, it didn't feel too great. I would leave this. Now, I like my controller to feel very static instead of dynamic. Therefore, I have the aiming left and right acceleration at 0 with the vertical aim ratio at 48, which I believe is the default. Next, uniform soldier aiming. Turn this on. Just do it. Coefficient. This has kind of been a weird topic because in season 1 I had the coefficient at about 130 to 140, and now at season 3 it doesn't feel the same. I don't know what happened, but I feel more consistent when this is just set at 0. And then for all of the zoom in sensitivities, I left at default at 100. I don't want the sensitivity to change based on what size scope I'm using. I like it to stay the same. I like everything consistent and straight to the point. Vehicle aim sensitivity is a little funny. I've pretty much left most of these at default except for changing the field of view a lot higher so I can see what's around me. Now we're gonna head over to controller tuning. So you want your dead zones as low as they can possibly be for everything until you have stick drift. You want to increase this until the stick drift goes away. That's how the dead zones are going to work. All the thresholds are going to be maxed out at 100. For the trigger dead zones, you want these at 0. And that's going to do it for today's video, guys. If you did enjoy, if this helped you out, let me know. Leave a comment down below. Thank you for leaving a like if you did. And as always, just have a good one. I'll see you guys on the next video.